Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to a new episode of the Having It All podcast. I'm Matthew Bivens, and if you can't tell, I am very, very excited to have you with me here today because we're going to talk about something so cool, so much fun. This is the annual Word for the Year episode. Now, this has become a tradition here on the Having It All podcast. This will be the third year that I've done an episode where I am going to help you craft a word for the year. And I'm super excited about this. I use this as a tool for myself. Each year for the past about 3 years, I've done a word for the year. And it's just a really, really great and simple way to help you leap into the next year with purpose and intention, right? Because I want to help you create your best year yet. And so that's what we're going to do today. I am super excited. I got some fun new updates for you. So I have a simple request before we begin. Please share this episode with one person that you really want them to have an amazing 2020. Just share this episode with them because you know what? You never know what kind of breakthroughs they could have by coming up with a year for themselves. So that would be awesome if you could share this because I want as many people as possible to have it all. That's what I'm playing for. And there is a tool that goes along with this episode, a free tool that I created for you, all about helping you come up with your word for the year, and it breaks down the process that I'm actually going to go over in the episode. So you can download the tool. You can do it now. You can do it later on, whatever. It's at matthewbivens.com/word, W-O-R-D. So go grab that tool whenever it is convenient for you. All right, let's kick things off by talking about magic, because you know what? That's really what we're about. We're about creating these magical moments, those moments where you influence self, others, and life in an empowering way. And my magic this week is magic around influencing myself, because I influence myself to spend time sharpening my toolkit. And what that means is I was really digging in on my personal values recently, going back through them, looking at everything that I wrote down, seeing what still resonated, and making some changes. It had been at least 2 years since I had updated my personal values. And I recently had an opportunity to see where I wasn't really as tight with living into my values as I would like to be. And, that was a humbling experience, and I take that feedback and I moved with it. And so I took some time out of my day a couple of times just to sit down and work on it. Like, all right, let me dig into these values. And what I ended up doing is I reduced the number of top values. I reprioritized them, and I updated what my values mean to me. And so the magic was just going through that process again. And really, I know because I've been using these values. And so I know how impactful it is to live a life that's aligned with my personal values. And so I'm excited now that they've been dusted off and sharpened up and all that great stuff. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in my life. So that is my magic. That is my self magic. And, now I toss it to you. If you feel inspired, hit pause and reflect on some magic that you've created in your life. Because the more you can recognize those magical moments, the more that you can create them. Like you can keep creating them more and more frequently. And you realize that you are the one who is creating them. You have the power. So if you feel inspired, hit pause. And I want to give a quick shout out. I want to give some listener love out there. And this one goes out to Helen from Ireland. Helen, you reached out to me on Instagram, and I am so appreciative that, first of all, you took the time to listen to the podcast and check it out. And second, that you would carve out time in your day to connect with me on Instagram. It was so cool receiving your message, and I got to tell you, I am inspired because you don't just listen to the podcast. You really reflect on the things that resonate with you or the things that stir within you, and you take action. So I thought it was really cool that the body vehicle conversation sparked something within you to kind of look as to where your opportunities were. And I think it is so dope that you invited your family to be more intentional so that they can create their abundant loving lives. That is awesome. You're amazing. Just keep being your totally freaking cool self. So Helen, thank you again. If you want to connect with me the way that Helen did, you can do so over on Instagram. I'm at Matthew_Bivens. I love connecting with you on Instagram, getting into conversations, and really creating relationships. That's what I'm all about. So Instagram is a great place to do that. You can direct message me, or you can shoot me an email. My personal email is mattcbivens@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. Okay. Shall we get into this word for the year stuff? Yeah, you think so? I'm excited about this. I mean, it is so much fun. I love being intentional. I really do. And, as we head into 2020, many of you are working on setting some new goals for the year or some New Year's resolutions. And so, what I really want you to do right now is I want you to ask yourself, how successful have you been in the past with hitting your goals and hitting your New Year's resolutions, like sticking to them? How successful have you really been? Because the reality is, most people suck at that. Like before February even hits, most folks have just given up on their resolutions. They are far away from their goals or not even pointed in the right direction. And most people are judging and berating themselves for not sticking to it. And you know what? In my opinion, the reason why that happens isn't because folks are lazy or lack discipline. It goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than your habits and deeper than what it is that you are or are not doing. You see, goals and resolutions are often about what you do, right? They're things that are connected to the doing. It's like, I want to make more money. I want to get into shape. I want to find an awesome partner. All of that is focused on doing. And so you get really caught up in the doing. And you start believing that if you just did things differently, then you'd have some different results. And that type of thinking can quickly get you into judgment, judging yourself for not sticking to your healthy habits, or judging yourself for dropping something that you said you'd do. Like you're thinking to yourself, man, I told myself I'd wake up at 6 a.m. every day and work out, but I stopped after day 3, so now I'm a piece of crap. Like that's so easy to go down that thinking when you're focused on the doing. But listen, failure is a part of growth. It is. Failure happens. And for some reason, when it comes to New Year's goals and New Year's resolutions, we totally forget that failure is a part of the equation. And we have these really big expectations that we're going to make these really dramatic, significant life changes. And we're going to do them in areas that we've never been able to do them before in the past. But for some reason, somehow, now everything's going to be different. And we don't give ourselves any room to stumble along the way. And all of that stuff happens when you're focused on doing. And so, my answer to that, the essence of this episode, this conversation, is to think about who you are being first. Think about who you are being, and then think about what you're doing. So before you get into any doing, before you get into any action, I think it's so important that you get clear as to who you're being and who you want to become. Because everything that you experienced and attracted into your life in 2019 was the result of who you were being. Yeah, the great things and the not so great things. The average state of your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your relationships, like how you relate to things, how you feel about things, all of that makes up your beingness. And so the actions that you took last year all originated from that beingness. So does it make sense as to why getting intentional on who you are being is so important? In 2020, I know that there are things that you'd like to see different in your life. I know it. Whether it's health or money or relationships or just your overall level of joy and happiness, all of that stuff is amazing and awesome, and I want all those great things for you. And focusing on what you have to do to have or to create those things, really it's misdiagnosing what the problem is. Like you're missing the point, because the reason why you don't have all those things is deeper than your actions. Again, it's in your beingness. And so that's where you want to focus first. Once you have clarity around your beingness, then move into the doing. And you move into the doing in order to make those dreams a reality. So, to bring all of this full circle, developing a word for the year will get you thinking more intentionally about who you want to be in 2020, which will impact all of the things that you do, which will lead to new results. So that is why we're having that conversation today. Exciting, huh? So I've been creating a word for the year since 2017. And some of my past words were, in 2017, it was beast mode. 2018, it was faith. Faith for me is trust and surrender. And 2019, the word was transcend. And so the way that I use these, I'll just give you an example. In 2017, that was a year of big risks for me. I did a lot of things in my personal life, which honestly terrified me, like totally scared the crap out of me. And I remember confronting some of my deeply rooted beliefs around relationships, around masculinity, around monogamy, all of that stuff. And going through that, I experienced some very deep fears, some very, very big anxiety, things that really shocked my system. And that was the first year that I developed a word for the year. And I'm very thankful I did, because I found myself connecting with my word, beast mode, again and again. I would use it as an affirmation. I would literally look myself in the mirror and just remind myself what beast mode meant to me. I would meditate with it. Like I would think about that word and go into a meditation. And I would really just use it to pump myself up before I stepped into scary situations, or before I had, really confronting conversations, or even afterwards when I was maybe in my ego and feeling defensive and feeling small and feeling scared. I would remind myself of my word, and that would help me. So overall, 2017 was an amazing year, full of a lot of healing and a lot of growth, and in areas that I never thought possible for myself. And I attribute a lot of that to having a word that I was able to focus on. So this upcoming year, 2020, my word is love. And for me, love is a deep and intimate relationship with myself first, then other people, then life itself. And I see incredible possibility for myself when my beingness is resonating at that frequency of love. I see big opportunities for me to deepen my intimate relationship with myself. This year brought up a lot of things and revealed a lot of things and showed me that, boy, I've got some great strides to make, some great opportunities with how I relate to and talk about and talk to and approve of and accept myself. So I'm very excited about that. I want to continue to build on some momentum that I feel like I've created when it comes to loving others in this past year, which has been awesome. And with life, I just want to experience the magic as I fall more and more in love with life in general. So I'm very excited to look back on this year, 12 months from now, and really see how love has shaped who I've become. So let's talk now. Let's get into the actual process of developing your word for the year. Because what I wanted to do leading up to this point was give you a lot of context. And now I want to give you the steps. And so this process has been refined over the years, and it has helped literally hundreds and hundreds of people to create a powerful word for themselves that they've used to support themselves and inspire themselves in creating a truly awesome life. And so remember, there's a free tool that goes along with this. Free tool that goes along with this episode, and the tool has all the steps written out. So I'm going to go over them right now next, and the tool has everything written out, so you have it all in front of you. So I definitely recommend you go and download it. It's free. There's also some bonus stuff in there as well. So just go to MatthewBivens.com/word, and you can download the tool. All right, let's jump into this thing. So the very first step in creating your word for the year is reflection. I want you to reflect on the previous 12 months. I want you to ask yourself, what went well? What healthy habits did you start to grow? What wins or experiences did you create? What areas did you see momentum building in your life? Also think about what really didn't go so well, especially or particularly in the areas that you have the ability to influence. Because sometimes things didn't go well, but you really had no control over it, and you couldn't have influenced it. But there's other things that didn't go so well, and it was within your grasp to do something about it. I want you to reflect on that. And knowing what you know now about how the last 12 months ended up, what could you have used more of? Maybe it was more patience. Maybe it was more affirmations. Maybe it was more courage. Maybe it was more love, whatever. And then what could you have used less of? Maybe it was less hanging out with those Debbie Downers in your life. Maybe it was less quitting when things got tough. Maybe it was less smoking or drinking, whatever. Step number 1, reflection, is all about just looking at what was effective and ineffective over the past 12 months. So that's what you're going to do first. Step 2 is visualization. Visualization is such an awesome practice, and I want you to now visualize what you want in the upcoming year. So what awesome things do you see yourself 12 months from now? What goals do you want to accomplish? Make sure they're exciting and realistic. What things do you want to see happen in the 6 F's? The 6 F's are faith, family, friends, fitness, finance, and fun. What do you want to see happen in those areas? Or maybe there's one of those areas that you really want to see something incredible show up in. What would have to happen so that when you look back on your life 12 months from now, you say, dang, that was a dope year? Like, what would have to happen in order for you to say that? So that's what I want you to visualize. That's what I want you to think about. And I want you to start getting clear as to what you want the next 12 months to look and feel like. This step is all about placing your order. You're going to place your order to the universe of the things that you want to accomplish and the things that you want to come to fruition. So this is really a big piece in being intentional, which is what this entire process is about. All right, step number 3. This step is all about clarity. I want you to now get clear as to who you need to become to feel inspired and to develop the character to achieve the things you said in step number 2. Yes, again, who do you need to become to achieve all those things from step number 2? So ask yourself, what will it take for you to become that person? What values do you need to adopt and internalize? What beliefs do you need to adopt? And what beliefs do you need to let go of? Because that could be a huge part of the problem. What beliefs do you need to let go of? Get specific when thinking about those beliefs. What mindset will help you grow into the person you want to become? This step is really where the magic begins. Because again, remember when I was delivering the context, who you become is directly connected to the results that you're going to create. And so in this step, it's all about really creating that roadmap for you. The roadmap that's going to lead you to all the amazing things that you want to accomplish and experience 12 months from now. All right, step number 4. This one's all about brainstorming. Now we're going to start looking at some specific words. So by this point, you've got a greater idea of what you want 12 months from now and who you must become to create that. So now what I want you to do is start to brainstorm words that are really going to fuel your drive for change. So make a short list. Don't go listing off like 10, 15 words because you got to whittle it down to one. So make a short list, like 3 to 5 words. Words that come to mind when you think about becoming that person. All right? Make a short list. And on the tool, the free tool, there's a list of a bunch of words that can help you out, help you to get those juices flowing. So go download it, MatthewBivens.com/word, and you can see the full list. I'm not going to read them out here. All right, so step number 5. This is where you're actually going to select your one word for the year. Remember, this word or phrase is really going to capture the essence of what you're playing for over the next 12 months. So you want this word to fuel you. You want this word to give you purpose and give you focus and really to inspire you to become your best self. Because as you start to embody more and more of the traits of that best self, meaning as you live into your word, you're going to see more and more of your goals be accomplished. You're going to see tighter alignment with those resolutions that you set. You're going to see many more magical moments in your life as you become that word. So now in step 5, go through your list and feel it. Like I want you to feel that one that rises to the top. You might need to sleep on this for a little bit. You might need to pause the episode and just like go and give it 24 hours or give it overnight and revisit this in order for that word to rise to the top, for that feeling to come. And that's how I want you to select it. I really want you to feel it and be like, boom, this is it. Once you've done that, then you can go to step 6. And this is the most important step because by now, step number 6, you've selected your word. You've got it now. But right now, it's just a word. It's a great word and has a lot of meaning for you, but it is just a word. And so now what we want to do is to turn it into a supernova of intentionality and just goal-crushing power. That's what I'm playing for you. And to do that, you need to activate your word. You've got to activate it. And so here's what you do. To activate your word, I want you to answer this question. I literally want you to write it down. So like on a piece of paper or a Word document, you're going to have your word or your phrase, whatever it is, and then underneath it, I want you to answer this question. What does this word mean to me? What are specific ways that you can use this word, that you can become this word over the next 12 months? Be very specific with this. So, for example, back in 2018 when my word was faith, I would activate faith by really working on surrendering to the feedback that my accountability group would give me. And I would sit in this accountability group every week, and I would get feedback as to how I was showing up, as to how I could, move closer towards my goals, as to, how I could accomplish things that I wanted to accomplish. And a lot of times that feedback I didn't want to hear. I wanted to fight it. I wanted to resist it. So for me, using my word, when I would remind myself, okay, my word is faith, I would remind myself that faith means trust and surrender. And so I would let go of the fight. I would let go of the resistance, and I would embrace the fact that, other people may be seeing things that I'm not seeing. And so that is how I would activate my word. That's how I would use it in real life. But in order to know how to activate it, I had to get clear as to what my word meant for me and get clear as to how I could actually use it. So that's what I want you to do now. Once you've done that, and don't move ahead until you've done that, until you've written down what it means for you and specific ways that you can activate it and use it. But once you've done that, I want you to make your word visible. Make it visible in those places where you spend most of your time. So write it on a piece of paper and stick it on your bathroom mirror. Boom. Stick it on your fridge. Boom. Put it in your office, right on the wall. Boom. Put it on your desk monitor, like your computer monitor. Write that sucker down. I also want you to write your word on your journal or your calendar or your daily planner. Whatever you're using to like set the intention for your day, put your word right on there. And then lastly, pull out your phone and put your word as a reminder to go off at like an alarm in your phone every single day. Every single morning, like 5 a.m., your alarm should pop up with a little notification that says your word and what it means to you. I'm telling you, that's what I did. I put it in my phone. And I still, to this day, have the reminder pop up for my mission statement. I've memorized my mission statement. I've internalized it. But every morning, it's a reminder for me to just sit with it and set an intention. I want you to do the same thing with your word. That practice is so important to get you in the habit of using it every single morning. So pull out your phone, set an alarm. That's what your alarms are for. Use them. Because the more you see your word, the more you use it, and the more you activate it, the greater the likelihood that it's actually going to have an empowering impact on your life. Your word cannot help you if you just let it gather dust in a drawer somewhere. It's not going to do anything for you if you don't activate it. So you've got to use it. You've got to use it. And if you do it, I promise you, you're going to experience a lot of magic, and you're going to see yourself begin to transform, which is going to lead to some really incredible results in your life. I promise. It's happened to me. It's happened to so many people. All right. I got one more bonus step for you. And this one is about sharing the love. So once you have your word, go tell other people. Let those closest to you know what you're up to. Like, share it with your spouse. Share it with your best friend. Share it with your siblings. You know, let them know what your word is, and let them know the life that you're intending to create. You know, because they could put some energy behind it, right? And that's what you want, that collective energy. And then take your word and update your social media profile. Put it in your description. Put it in your bio. Put it in your email signature. Get some new business cards or some new stationery and put your word right there. Let everybody know what you're playing for. Get it out into the world and see as like what happens as other people add their energy into your intentions. And hey, you know what? Let me know what your word is. Reach out to me and I'll put my energy into it. So DM me on Instagram, Matthew_Bivens, and shoot me an email, Matthew@MatthewBivens.com. And I would love to put my energy into your word for the year. All right. That's it. Those are the steps. Follow that process, and you're going to have not only are you going to have a rockin' word, but you're going to know how to use it, and you're going to gain reps so that it can really like infuse itself into your life and do all of its awesome, awesome magic. So I really want you to go and take it now and use the tool to help you become the person that you truly desire to become in this upcoming year. I know it's so possible for you. It is so freaking possible for you to have the best year yet. It truly, really, truly is. And now with the word for the year, you're just more equipped to go make it happen. So please share this episode with one person that you know could benefit. You never know. You never know what massive breakthroughs that they could have as a result of you simply saying to them, hey, there's a podcast episode that I really think you might dig, and then sending them the link. So that could be a really incredible thing that you do for another person. So share it with them. And thank you for joining me today. This has been awesome. I'm so excited for you and everything you're going to create. And wow, at this point, we just have a few more episodes in 2019. Can you believe it? That is crazy. So crazy. Oh, man. I'm going to be back next week with more ways to help you to wrap up the year powerfully, get ready for the next year, and overall just live your very best life. So, my name is Matthew Bivens. I thank you for joining me today. Here is to you having it all. Quick note about the Having It All podcast. I am not a doctor nor a licensed therapist. I'm a guy with a story and a passion for conscious conversation. My thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are my own. So please consult with your doctor or healthcare provider regarding any questions or issues you have related to your personal, physical, or mental health.